This is part 19 of my series on my N-gauge model railway project. Previous parts covered the project from its inception through the creation of the baseboard, selection and laying of track, building of scenic items, obtaining rolling stock, etc. The project is ongoing. Recent parts have also featured actual video of running on the layout, and more to come. This part features some more recently acquired rolling stock. An interesting group of wagons, LMS Furniture Removal Service wagons, LMS Bolster wagons, and a covered private owner wagon of Crawshay Brothers. This will be a combo video with a review of details first, and then some running video of the new stock. So here's a good initial view of the new wagons. I must say I really like these, and they play right into the core of my prototype, which is LMS operations in the British Midlands in the 1930s. Which was the end of my granddad's career with the railways, a career that started out of Derby with Midland Railways towards the end of the 19th century and finished out of Leicester in the 30s as a top-line driver with the LMS. The Furniture Removal Service was something that LMS set up to help them compete with road transport. They weren't allowed by law to run point-to-point road transport services, but they could run road services to pick up goods for transfer to then be moved by rail. So under that they ran this removal service. If you were moving house from one village, town or city to another, you'd contract the service and they would pick up your furniture by lorry, take it to the nearest rail freight depot, then take it by train to the depot nearest your new home and deliver it by lorry from there. Here's a picture of one of the furniture containers being loaded onto a wagon. I love that crane also. I don't believe a model is made of it, especially not in N-gauge. I'm almost tempted to try and scratch build one. I've also ordered this lorry, although it may be a little late for my core prototype, more 40s than 50s. Can't be later than 40s, of course, since the LMS ceased to exist with nationalisation in 1948, although rolling stock continued to be found with the LMS logo on it for many years after that. And now some pictures of initial running with the new wagons on the layout. That's the current Graham Farish Ginty tank loco pulling them, a real stalwart of the LMS, and for me also one of my most reliable locos. Here they are going past my recently revised yard area. More revisions to come when my coaling tower, ash plant and sanding plant arrive, all of which are currently on order. All being well, the coaling tower is to use the two tracks that you see directly to the left of the Bolster and Crawshay wagons here, although until I get it I won't know exactly how it'll fit. The Crawshay Brothers ran the Kivath Iron Works near Merthyr Tydfil from the 18th century until the early 20th century. Apparently they used these covered wagons for shipping lime. Actually, the works ceased operations for the last time in 1919 after doing war work, so this wagon is really a little early for my prototype, unless for some reason it was lingering on with its original markings. Here's the train coming round the hill, with Colville Station behind. I ended up doing quite a bit of work researching the Bolster wagons and how they were used. The Pico wagons that I got seemed weird to me. They each had a single rotating bolster in the middle, that is to say a horizontal bar with a vertical post at each end, fixed onto the wagon by a single central post, allowing the whole thing to rotate. At first I thought this might even be just a modelling error. I looked at pictures like this one and I thought it seemed more likely that the horizontal bar would go over the load. I found some pictures like this of models with the type of wagon that I had, with the rotating assembly, with something like a short piece of tree trunk jammed between the vertical posts. But this just seemed a totally stupid way to try to carry a load, so I couldn't believe it was realistic. These wagons were not rare. Apparently the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway built 1,600 of these wagons for carrying timber and similar long loads, but finding pictures of them in real-world use proved extremely difficult. I did find this sketch showing different ways of carrying lumber on the railways, and based on other textual evidence, it appears that item 1 here depicts the way that these single bolster wagons were normally used. That is, in pairs, with a long load across the 2 wagons between the bolsters on each and chained down. The rotation of the bolsters allowed the 2 wagons together to function something like bogies as the wagons went round curves. This was about the only picture I could find of real-world wagons loaded in this way. Here you can see many pairs loaded with what appear to be steel girders or possibly even rail pieces. So I determined to load my new wagons on this basis. Here is the train with the new load. I cut some lumber from balsa wood that I had around, and used some chain left over from my jewellery making days to fasten the load down, as chain was what was apparently generally used. Here's the train with the revised load going over the viaduct. I recently took a file to the ends of the track on the viaduct span, as for some reason it was higher than the regular track, creating a pronounced step at each end of the span, which was prone to derail or uncouple rolling stock. I filed the ends of the span track gently to blend them better into the joining track, which has helped. Here's the train coming past the hill to the tight curve. Once I made sure that the bolsters could rotate freely, the double-loaded wagons went round even tight curves quite well, with no problem. The stain on the back of the wood is my blood. I managed to stab myself trying to use a knife to free up the bolsters after gluing on the chain. Here's the train in front of Colville Station. At top left there is a pre-painted P&D Marsh triple signal that I recently placed. And round the hill. And here's a close-up of the bolster wagons with their new load. The chain is perhaps a bit too shiny. I should dull it down. So, now for some actual video of the new wagons running. So now I've got the furniture wagons and the bolster wagon and the lime wagon in the siding by the yard, and we'll try to bring them out of there. Bring them round to somewhere you can see them nicely, hopefully. Needs a little bit more steam to get up that incline. That's the Ginty. New Graham Farish Ginty. Now I want to bring them up where you can really see them well, because these are really beautiful wagons. If I can persuade the Ginty to actually do it slow enough. Let me see if I can do that even closer, because these really are very beautiful wagons. Yeah, the Ginty's not going to cooperate with crawling like that quite. Still, you can see the nice wagons. The Ginty's a good runner actually, but he's not cooperating. We'll try one more time. Oh dear, we're also running out of battery. That's probably about all we can do. Okay. And we'll see what we can do in the way of getting a little bit of overview footage. Oh, famous last words. No good. Trying to get anything to work consistently. Rapido couplings especially are the worst. They just come apart all the time. Never had this problem with my old Triang stuff in my youth. This is the Ginty pulling the furniture wagons. Checking the points here. And we'll maybe just back him into the siding where he started from. Temporary siding area there. Really, I'm intending to put in a coaling tower and ash plant, but don't have them yet. That little building by the siding there is actually covering the wire for the points because I haven't wired the points yet.